Time now for Hawk Zone, sponsored by Muckleshoot Casino.
Well, the Seahawks had to travel across the country to play one of the best teams in the NFL, and it didn't go so well. Seattle got beat by Baltimore and the Ravens 37-3 in a bad showing from both sides of the ball. Terry Hollimon joins me now in Hawk Zone to break this one down. Ouch.
Ouch is right.
Ouch.
Yes, yes.
All right, so we knew going into this. We talked about this last week. We knew it was going to be a hard game. We knew that was to happen. So was this just a really bad matchup? Like, what happened?
I don't want to blame it on being a bad matchup because at the end of the day, this is a National Football League.
Okay.
You have a whole week to prepare for the other team.
Yeah.
You have skilled players. You have linemen. You have guys that should match up well. Mm-hmm. But they just didn't play very well. I think when you look at the game as a whole, the Seahawks just got bullied. That's the end of the day. I'm trying to find a way to make it sound nice.
That's just the long short of it. They got bullied.
They got bullied. At the line of scrimmage, they beat us up offensively. At the line of scrimmage, defensively, they beat us up. It was just a situation where they just basically took the Seahawks to the woodshed. Oof. They took us out and took our lunch money, and it was ugly. It was ugly.
Well, they do have the second best defense in the NFL. We know this. It showed.
It did.
Watching the game. They held the Seahawks to just 3 points. Are you surprised that Pete left Geno in the game, the whole game?
No, not really. So here's the situation. You have Geno, who's the leader of this team, right? And he was obviously having some troubles this past week. He's actually had some trouble the past couple of weeks when we talk about turnovers, and I'm sure we'll talk about that.
Yeah.
But when you're in a situation like that, you want your leader to be out there with the team. You want them to try to work their way through the problems. You can't just pull them out like, oh, okay, we got in this situation, now we're in a hole. Mm-hmm. We'll let the rest of the team deal with this situation, deal with this beatdown while we pull you off to the sideline. No, Geno, we're going to have to try to work through this, try to find the positive out of this, and give us something on film that we can come back and look at on Monday and see that we can improve on.
So if I was to compare the coaching to parenting, coach would be doing positive parenting.
That's what this is. That's what that was. We're positive parenting.
Yeah,
look, son,
that's right.
daughter, we've run ourselves in this problem. How are we going to work our way out of this?
Yes.
What's the situation? What's the solution? And unfortunately, the Seahawks and Geno did not find that this weekend.
So I do have a question. So the reason I asked about Geno is that it was a fourth straight game, like you mentioned, that Geno had 2 turnovers.
Yes.
So what do you think is going on with him? And essentially, what do we need to get him better? Does he need better protection? Like, what's going on?
It's not really a simple answer, in my opinion. I think there's a number of things that are happening right now with this team, particularly on the offense. Of course, we've talked about it numerous times this season. The offensive line has been much misaligned. Like, the guys have been injured. We've had guys going in and out.
Yeah.
We actually have an offensive lineman on our squad right now who is 41 years old. Now imagine that. I mean, not to take anything away from anybody, it's not a situation of ageism, but you're 41 years old. He's been on a practice squad. He's been in the National Football League for over 20 years, and he's our starting tackle. Yeah. And he's done a pretty good job, but at some point, 41 catches up to you.
I did a 10-minute bar class this morning, and getting up on the stool was hard. So, I mean, I'm not going to lie. It's not easy when it gets going.
So, yeah, the guys have been injured up front offensively on the offensive line. So that's a problem keeping Geno protected. Obviously, that makes him nervous. It gets him a little squirrely, and he gets into situations where he starts trying to do things that are outside of his comfort zone, and he gets off schedule. So things like that happen. You start having fumbles. You start having interception and all sorts of mishaps. And so that's the number one thing I think that's happening.
And the Seahawks just could not defend Baltimore's running game.
They could not. They just ran roughshod over the Seattle's defense. I'm using all my tough words this morning.
Took him to the woodshed was my favorite one
Run
so
roughshod
far.
over these guys. See, it was an issue with not just the scheme where the guys were out of position, but tackling. Tackling was not there this past weekend with the Seahawks defense. The guys would hit their running backs, and the running backs would just keep going. It was like it was just completely defenseless. So that is something they're going to have to work on this week, and it has to get better. It just has to get better.
It has to. I mean, it really does. Yeah. So every week, I mean, maybe this is not the best week for this, but who was your player of the game?
Nobody. There's nobody on this. It was a complete failure from front to back, from beginning to end.
There's not one single, like nobody, hey, they still put the effort in.
There's no way that you can look at anything from this game tape and glean anything positive from it. I think the only thing you could possibly do at this point is, and when you watch the film as a Seahawk this week, is say, Never do that again. See that play right there? Never do that again. See this tackle right here? Never tackle anybody like that ever again. You run a route like this, never do that again.
Here's what not to do.
That's all that is this week. And again, I'm giving them a little, I'm giving them a little grief. But the truth of the matter is Baltimore is literally one of the best teams in the National Football League.
Yeah, it is.
They look like a Super Bowl contender, and the Seahawks really helped them look like that. Sorry,
they have a chance to bounce back, right?
They do.
They're going to play at home this weekend against the Washington Commanders, who are just 4-5, so they're not doing it right.
Right.
But, what do we need to know about the Commanders?
The Commanders, like you said, they're struggling. So they actually have a win this past weekend versus the Patriots.
I saw that.
Which was good for them.
And they were really excited about it.
So maybe they'll come into Lumen Field with their confidence up and feel really good, and we'll be ready to come back and off the ropes and battle these guys. Licking our wounds. They have a pretty good quarterback that's had a couple of good games, put a couple of good games together, Sam Howell. So we need to be prepared for that. And fortunate thing for the Seahawks, the Commanders don't have very much of a pass rush at all. So maybe they'll get some issues settled with that offensive line, and Geno will, have a little bit more comfort and do his thing and get this thing back on track.
Yes, don't do that again.
Don't do that. Yeah, exactly. So
don't do that again.
Let's not do Baltimore again, please. For my mental health, please don't do that anymore.
Thank you for putting that so clearly for us today. By the way, y'all, this segment of Hawk Zone was sponsored by Muckleshoot Casino. Experience the rock genius of Blue Oyster Cult. Don't fear the Reaper. Wish we had some cowbell here. They're Tuesday, December 5th at the Muckleshoot Casino Event Center. The heavy metal pioneers have been thrilling hard rock fans worldwide for more than 5 decades.
Wow.
So visit the website on your screen for ticket info. I so want to go to that concert.